Hey everyone, welcome to the Music Made Me podcast. We're doing a little intro today because we're going to be launching on February 1st. So we just wanted to give you all an example of what we're going to be doing, a heads up, a little behind the curtain look. So today we're going to be sitting down with my best bud, Shamus. We met in middle school and we've kind of been music buddies ever since. We've been to so many concerts and had so many great musical experiences. It's going to be awesome. We're going to dive into really how music made us from when we were young to now. And that's kind of the point of the series, is we're going to be sitting down with musicians to talk about how music made them from their first musical experience. It could be when they're 5 years old and they heard a certain song and that just clicked something within them and that's driven them to today. We're going to learn about the emotion and kind of humanize those stories and find the passion deep within the musicians that have driven them to today. And it's not going to be focused on one genre. We're doing everything: country, rock, metal, pop, anything you can think of. Musicians from all walks of life. We'll be talking to them and just finding that real emotion behind the music and finding out how music made them, because that's the name of the series, The Music Made Me. And so it's going to be an awesome experience. It's going to be fun. And today it's a little preview, like I say, with myself and Shamus, learning about how music made us. It's going to be a fun journey, and I hope you enjoy it. And stick around in February when we officially launch with some great musicians. Thanks, and enjoy. Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Can you hear, like, cartoons in the background?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
They're watching Garfield, and I had Adobe Audition up, and I'm like hearing like everything that's going on upstairs. I'm like, oh my God, is that gonna happen? So luckily it didn't.
How's it feel? I feel like you've done quite a bit in the last 4 weeks.
Man, it's been crazy, like nuts. Like, yeah, I I went from like just before Christmas at work, like thinking this, I don't really enjoy this job anymore, and it's like it's boring, I guess.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, you know what? I miss is interviewing bands. And like thinking about that got me excited. And
Yeah.
then like from there, it was just like, okay, let's do this. And
Yeah. Here you are. You've got guests lined up.
yeah, exactly.
Are we allowed to drink on this podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sweet.
I can't drink anymore. I have like one drink and I wake up the next day with like a brutal, well, not a brutal headache, but with a headache.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're like
Like,
allergic to something?
I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. And so, yeah, I just don't, because I don't want to wake up at 6 o'clock with two boys jumping on me with a headache. That's no fun. So what'd you think thinking back to all those concerts last night?
Oh, it was
It's
it was it was
crazy,
kind of
eh?
cool. Yeah, it was cool to go down memory lane a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't remember all of them. Um, like, I mean, Edge Fest would have been the first, right?
I think it was the first.
Yeah,
I
and
was trying to think back of when that was, because that was
it was 97. I looked it up.
was it 97?
97. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was looking like past 2000 because I'm like, oh, it would have had to be past 2000. It's like, nope, 97. And so
Like
what? We were in grade, what, 9, 10,
10,
10,
I think. Yeah.
and we just jumped on the Greyhound bus and strode down to Vancouver.
I know. It's amazing. That's so crazy. It was 97. I
I
thought it was
know.
98.
Yeah, I know. 97.
And I can remember that one like it was yesterday. Like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
such a cool experience.
Yeah. And that was I Am Mother Earth's last show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was their last show and their last song. It just started to piss down
Yeah, I
rain.
remember that.
I'm like, what? Like this is crazy.
And you know what?
I,
I was thinking back. And so for them and for Collective Soul, we were up right by the stage, right? We went up.
mhm.
And then I was thinking about it for OLP, who we were basically there to see. We were like way back in the boonies.
I
You
know.
remember that? Like we had
I,
our binoculars and
yeah.
you'd see Jeremy hit the drum and then like two
And
seconds
then you'd
later
hear
you'd actually hear it.
it. Yeah.
It's like you could have had a way better experience watching on DVD than sitting
Yeah.
way back there in the.
Yeah, what were we thinking?
I don't know. I don't know why we didn't go up for that one. I guess we were tired or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Maybe we
That
were
was
scared.
maybe just little youngins in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
That's so funny. That was. I still have that, like that concert, um, like magazine or lineup or
Oh,
whatever,
really? Do you?
signed by Collective Soul.
Right. Yeah, I remember waiting in line to
Yeah,
get their autograph.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We like sat there and talked baseball with them. It was hilarious.
Yeah. The first concert I remember, I know it was before Edgefest. It was Moist at the roller rink in Kelowna.
I don't think I went to that one.
No?
I went to because they played there multiple times, didn't they?
They might have. Yeah.
I remember going to one of them, but I thought that was like way after Edgefest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was like middle school when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Like, how did we get into Edgefest in grade 10?
We
Grade
went
9?
with your uncle, your
Oh
aunt and
my,
uncle.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we didn't just go down on the Greyhound and just sleep on the streets and go into Edgefest. Hop the fence.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that, but I remember the concert itself.
Yeah, we stayed at your aunt and uncle's place. I
Yeah,
remember
that's right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then OLP, I looked up in Vernon. That was 2000. So just 3 years later. So we saw them in this huge open field where, the sound is traveling at 2 seconds per minute. And then we saw them in Vernon at
The
the
rec
rec
center.
center. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's, I think that one goes down as the most like intimate. Like, and that was like near the peak of their, like, well, I guess,
Yeah.
would that be around their peak? Like second album. So
Yeah,
probably around
for
their
sure.
peak.
Well,
Yeah.
they had just headlined Edgefest
Yeah.
3 years earlier. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely going into the peak. And yeah,
Like that one was shocking. Like I still can't believe that
yeah.
one.
Well, it's crazy because I've seen them, 4 or 5 times, and I've seen them at Edgefest in that huge field, and then in that really small venue at the rec center, and then I saw them at the Vogue Theater in
Yeah.
Vancouver, and then I saw them at the arena here in Kelowna. So I've seen like every
Yeah.
level of their show in every setting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like I think pretty early on when I moved up here, I remember seeing them at Rexall.
Right. Yeah.
I saw them at Rexall I think twice. And it was just like such a different experience. And the crazy thing is like the time that I saw them in Kelowna at the arena there,
Yeah.
rain like 2 rows in front of me. Like it's like standing there seeing like I could reach out and touch the guy. And then he did the same thing in Edmonton at
Really?
one of the shows. Yeah, it was like I was like up in the second level
Really?
and he comes up and was like like 2 seats beside me.
Wow.
This is the craziest shit ever. I love this. I think I'm at like six Our Lady Peace concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5. I missed out in my final days at Shaw. I actually interviewed him
Oh, really?
because him and Chantel were playing at one of the wineries. I can't remember which one, but they were playing at one of the wineries for Moon versus Sun.
Yeah.
And so I interviewed them both, and then they were going to get me into the show, but that's right when my first son was young and we couldn't get a babysitter.
Uh,
And I was just like, oh no.
and I hope you always tell your son
Oh,
that story.
I will. Absolutely. Because, yeah, that was a heartbreaker for me. That was,
Yeah, no kidding.
but the fact I actually got to sit down with him and interview him,
Oh, jeez.
that was a
How
dream.
was that?
Oh, it was awesome. It was so
Yeah.
good. And him and Chantel both complimented me on my interviewing skills. So
Oh,
there
there you
you
go.
go.
You got a future here.
Yeah, exactly. Eh? I'm hoping. And did we go to Nickelback together in Kelowna?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that's when I was working at Shaw and the office was in the arena, and you came by during the day I think to pick up your ticket probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were sound checking. And I don't know
Yeah,
if you remember, but I'm like, oh, listen to that. They're sound checking. And you're like, oh, okay, let's go. I'm like, oh, no, sorry, you can't come in. I'm not allowed to let people in. And I just felt so bad because I'm like, hey, listen to that. I'm going to go watch that, but you're not allowed to.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. I do remember, now I'm mad at you. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Yeah. And then there was Matt Good in Penticton.
Penticton,
That
yeah.
was another like small
Where was
venue
that?
crazy show. That was at the club, whatever the club in Penticton was called at the time.
Oh yeah, that's
What
right.
is it, the Mule, or I don't even know what it's
Because
called.
that one had like two levels, right? If I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That one was epic too, because that was right at the height of their career.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause that was
And
what, 99?
that was. Oh, I didn't write that one down. I wrote everything else down. Didn't write that down. It was probably around there. Um, because I think we had Well, I think we had graduated. Maybe '01. Maybe
Oh,
we
was
hadn't
it?
graduated. I don't know. I mean, we drove down by ourselves, so
Yeah,
we had our driver's license. So,
hopefully.
yeah, hopefully, whatever that would have been. And then we went out for dinner beforehand and met those two random girls. Do you
Yeah, I don't
remember that?
remember that. No, I don't
No?
remember. Like, I
And
remember the show. It's so funny because I always remember the shows, but I
right,
don't remember like the before or after.
because it was funny because we met them at the restaurant, and then we told them we were going to the show, and they didn't have tickets, and so I can't believe you don't remember this. We
No,
went
I don't
back
remember
to
that
the
at all.
venue, and you went in with your ticket, and we went around into the back alley, and you went through the club, and you came and you opened the door, and then I like pushed the girls through, and they went
So,
in, and what was funny is like I'm trying to be a rebel here and get these girls in without a ticket, but I didn't go in through the door. I like shut the door and went back around with my ticket into the front door because I didn't want to get in trouble.
nice.
So I was a rebel, but not really a rebel.
Not really.
So
That's, I don't remember that at all. I remember
no,
the show.
that's funny.
That is hilarious.
Oh, and speaking of small venues, remember Gob at Docks?
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane.
That was crazy. Like that, what
Yeah.
is that? 150 maybe in
Maybe.
there? And like the stage is like no bigger than this room I'm in right now. And
Oh,
it's
tiny.
Gob, like the craziest Canadian punk band out there at the time.
Yeah.
And in this small club, that was insane.
Just wild. Yeah. I think that's the one where I like walked out of the venue and I couldn't hear for hours because it was so loud in there.
Probably. And you talk about the glory days of music. That was actually like that wasn't a paid concert. That was the pub put on an appreciation night.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Oh
for
my God.
people who frequented there and sort of people within the industry in the area. Because they had a promoter on staff there at the time, and they had so many good shows there. Um,
Yeah.
during that time. Yeah, it was just crazy. And that's like right when I was like in my starting years with Shaw. So that was just awesome. I was just like every weekend I was out interviewing a band and going to a show, and it was so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It really just it doesn't happen anymore.
No, exactly. Does it in
Like I feel
Edmonton?
like
Like, are you getting the smaller shows? Like, are the pubs and the bars and the venues booking shows?
yeah, like there's
Well, not this past year, but
not the past year, but there's a few spots that have popped up on White Ave and downtown where like they're actually really good venues and they'll attract some pretty good bands like even like during Folk Fest or something like that. Like a band will they'll play their set and then the next day they'll play at a pub or something, which is pretty sweet. So you get to see some decent bands that way, but yeah, not a lot unless they're booking like a big venue. There's not a huge amount. But there are some really good, like it's a really good music scene here, so a lot of up and comers are always playing here, which is good.
that's always nice. Yeah, it's always fun
Yeah.
to go to those, like we did with TSE.
Oh yeah. I think I was like trying to like think back of how many times I saw them live, and it's got to be like 10. It's like every time he's like, "You're coming. Here are your tickets. You're coming. You got to fill this place."
Well, you got to sort of live vicariously through Andrew, right?
I remember him showing up on site one day. Like I was his boss on site, and his song comes on the radio on Sonic, and he's like, "Oh, turn this up," and I had no idea who he was.
Oh, at that point?
No, I had no idea. I'm like this new song on the radio. It's like their first like big song. He's like, "Oh, turn this up." He's like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a really catchy new song. Like these guys are awesome." He's like, "Yeah, they're pretty cool." And then like we finished um listening to the song, and then I can't remember who the host was, but the host came on and they're like, "Yeah, brand new album from 10 Second Epic, a local band here, lead singer Andrew." And I'm like, I look at him and he's just smiling and like nodding his head. I'm like,
That's hilarious.
yeah, so funny. I had
Oh,
no idea,
man.
no idea. And then from then on, like it was like every day, like with the new single, like,
Yeah.
he's like phone in and request my song.
Well, I can't believe he didn't introduce himself as, "Hey, Andrew, Rockstar." Like, wouldn't you,
Yeah.
if you had a song on the radio, like the minute
Oh,
someone,
100%.
wouldn't you be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm a rock star"?
Yeah. It's just like he was a co-op student, like an engineering co-op student from U of A.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know who you are. I knew after that, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
He forced me to request a song every day.
And I remember at that show we went to, Sandy, the bassist, or yeah, he was the bassist, wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
he?
Sandy, yeah.
He had his own little band that they played. Remember that after the TSE set? It
Oh,
was
that's right,
like
yeah.
the Moonstar Cobra or Moonship Cobra or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny because I text you that right as I was leaving Shaw, him and was it Neil, the guitarist? Was it
Dan.
Neil? Dan?
Dan, yeah.
Was it? Yeah. They started another band,
Yeah.
and they were, I'm pretty sure, the last band that I interviewed when I was at Shaw. So it was pretty
That's
funny.
so
And I
crazy.
mentioned to Sandy about that night and about him having his own little side project band. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It like blew my mind that, Andrew's like going to U of A, taking civil engineering and playing in a rock band, like traveling everywhere. I'm like, good for you, man. I think he was in the US somewhere. And he actually like flew back, wrote a final exam, and then flew back into the US and played a show that night. Yeah.
Wow. Geez, that's dedication, hey?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
It was
it's
pretty
too bad. It's
crazy. And
too bad they
like
couldn't make a go of it.
I feel like they were so close. Like they were so close. I feel like one more album I think they could have. But like they put a lot of time into it. Like they were a band while he was in like junior high.
Right. Yeah.
It was funny. I was going through some of my like we moved into this place about a year ago, and I was going through some like old T-shirts, old like concert T-shirts and stuff, and I have like seriously have like uh, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 Second Epic T-shirts. So I like put them out and like sent Andrew a picture. I'm like,
Oh, nice.
are these collectors yet? He's like, I still have boxes in my basement.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, just unsold stuff. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
imagine. I was going through old stuff and I have like just piles of tickets
Oh,
that I've just kept.
yeah. That's awesome.
So
I wonder
yeah,
what I wonder if mine are still at my parent. Like I've got to have some at my parents' house.
yeah, yeah. It's great reminders because you forget all the great shows that you're able to see over the years, right?
Yeah.
Like music is just so universal. Like it's
Oh,
crazy. Like it just like especially for me, like, and I think for you as well, it just like gets me through the day. Like if I'm feeling low, I'll just put on a song and it'll just all of a sudden be, yeah, okay, let's go. Like it just
it's
picks
it's
me
almost
up
like it like
instantly.
yeah. It's like it almost like tricks your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're like motivating while like going out for a workout or putting your head down and getting some work done. Like you could throw on some good tunes or something that it's gonna motivate you, and before you know it, it's like an hour or 2 hours, and you're like, holy shit, like
Yeah,
a lot of work done here.
exactly. Yeah, it's just crazy what it does. And I I find it interesting too is when someone records a song, like someone popular, and then that song's covered and covered and covered in, a lot of different genres.
Hmm.
um, it never loses anything. It's still the same song, and it still sort of gives you the same feeling, even if you don't like that kind of music. Just the feeling of the song never gets lost.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
it's crazy how that like carries through like that, and you see it a lot on, well, YouTube and that sort of thing, where you see these up and comers covering these big songs. And you're like, oh, like, and that's where a lot of them I feel like you're getting discovered these days too. Is just like throwing their stuff up on social media and cover it, and they're trying to play off that same feeling that the song got the first time around.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's great. Like that's what's great about like YouTube and stuff. There's just so much out there that can be discovered. And that's what I'm finding like on Instagram right now. Just going through like all these bands and discovering new bands and just finding out what's out there. And there's just so many
Yeah,
great bands that are out there just beyond the mainstream.
yeah,
No one knows about yet that people need to know about, especially
exactly.
now when these
Yeah,
bands need people the most and heading into the mid maybe end of 2021. If we can actually start touring again and getting out
oh
there,
man,
it'd
yeah.
be great for these bands to have those eyeballs and those ears for people to be pumped for them to go back on the roads. So.
I'm so curious to like how these bands, like, it is a lot of it is social media, but I know, back in the day for me, like SoundCloud was a way to find, new music and that sort of thing. But like if you're not paying for a streaming service, like how are you even finding these things anymore?
Yeah. Well, you
Just
don't even have to pay though, like Spotify. It's just free, right? You just have to listen to the ads every once in a while.
yeah, that's true, yeah.
But yeah, so
But are they pushing like new music like that underground? Because I
well,
guess anyone can upload their music, can't they? I guess you create
yeah,
accounts and make
yeah.
sure your music's of a
And
certain quality and
I find quite a bit because they make playlists for you based on
yeah,
what you've been listening to. And so I have such wide range of listening. Like I'll have a full country list and I'll have a pop punk list and I'll have a metal list. And um, so, yeah, I find actually it does quite well with
yeah.
introducing me to new stuff.
That's pretty good. Like I'm
So,
not a Spotify guy, I'm an Apple Music guy.
oh, okay.
But yeah, if you subscribe to some of their like new music playlists, they're usually pretty good. But yeah, maybe I should check out Spotify if
Yeah, yeah. Like I
to
say,
pick up
it's
some new stuff.
free and I like it. It's easy to
Sponsored
use.
by
Yeah,
Spotify.
exactly. Spotify buy ads right here. Put them in. Put them in.
Send me blank checks.
That's right.
Spotify.
That's all I need. Just blank checks. Is that so hard? I don't
Yeah,
think
come on.
so.
Come on.
Gosh. Oh man. Well, my kids are getting rowdy, so I guess I better go. It's getting close to bedtime
Oh,
here, actually.
boo.
Their bedtime and my bedtime.
That's awesome. That was super fun. Well, like I'm sure we could have talked another hour.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Maybe we can.
If you ever need
Yeah.
a filler, if
Yeah,
you ever need a
exactly.
filler, if you just want to like BS on a couple podcasts,
Well, I
I'll
was
I'll
thinking
I'll
if I
dig in.
start making enough money, I can pay you to be my Kyle, like on Joe Rogan. He has
Oh,
Kyle. I can. You
yes.
can be. You can be my guy.
I'll just be off screen and I'll ask Jeeves.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing. I'm in.
Awesome.
Sign me up.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll talk to you again soon then.
See you later.
See ya. There it is, our first episode, a preview. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed sitting down with Shamus. I always do. Always enjoy looking back on those concerts that we went to and just all those experiences that we had. It's awesome. So remember, February 1st, we're going to have our official launch. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, do whatever you can to let people know that we're out there, we're here, and we're going to have some great conversations with your favorite musicians and some musicians you don't know about yet that you're going to know about after listening to this series. So, we'll catch you later. Bye-bye.